of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
I salute their greatness, so the youths will follow.
And with that, we say a very special good morning to everybody, wherever you may be. Sweet Trinidad and Tobago, up and down the Eastern Caribbean, and of course, if you're streaming anywhere across the planet, we're happy to be here with you as we welcome you to another day. Welcome you all to New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, and taking you above and beyond. As always, let me say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day, and everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. Sir Charles, that is me, and happy am I to be here with you. Remember, this is your Get Up and Go, the breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Since 65. Again,
We'll leave it one of these. We'll leave it every morning from now on, right, Charles?
you know, Richard, I think you need to go back and listen to the show that we did with the interview and the guy yesterday.
I had a quick scramble. I was trying to get my coffee, but I ran out of time. But I'll get it shortly. So anyway, good morning.
Why don't you have the butler bring your coffee to you whilst you're there?
Oh yeah. What is the big butler's name? Is it Reeves?
No, it's Cadbury.
Cadbury. Can I get a Cadbury?
Cadbury. Coffee, please. I was going to say something, but we've gone over well. But anyway, good morning. Good morning. I'm not. It's going to come across to no. Anyway, so good morning and welcome to the breakfast show to all our listeners and viewers, not only in Trinidad and Tobago and up the Caribbean, but wherever you are on planet Earth. Welcome to the breakfast show coming to you live out of Trinidad and Tobago. We are so glad you're here. And of course, it's always wonderful to join you all so early in the morning, just to take you through the early morning hours, help you with your commute wherever you're going, or helping you if you're at home getting breakfast ready or whatever you're doing, just keeping you company as the day.
You hearing that?
No.
That's rain. Loud.
Well, you have a special jumpy by you. But good morning.
Well, I could say I had, but
oh, you see? You see, Sir Charles. Yeah. Anyway, good morning to my co-hosts, Wendell Stephen and Sir Charles. And of course, this is the breakfast show.
Yeah, good morning, Richard. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the wonderful but messed up globe of ours. And boy, is it messed up sometimes, But things heating up in the Caribbean and across the globe, of course. Guyana, I think, announced an election. Barbados has an election coming. Lots of, and if I'm not mistaken, St. Vincent and the Grenadines also has an election coming up also. So see what happens out there. We're following that closely for you too. We'll try to get an interview with the current president of Guyana, who is returning for, is it a third term? I think it's a third term, Mia Motley is also desirous of contesting again, even though she had said that she was ending her political career. She has also indicated and Ralph Gonzalez looked like he is going straight through. as the Prime Minister of St. Vincent. He dancing, he singing, he drumming, he liming, he playing cards. You name it, Ralph Gonzalez is doing it at his age and at his size too, because he has gotten very portly, as you can see. But we'll see, we'll follow up on that. Let me get my birthdays. No, I should do my greetings.
We're beaming up the Caribbean, right? So St. Vincentans may not appreciate you calling their Prime Minister portly.
Who's that?
You! Yes.
So how do you describe him?
I didn't describe him. You described him, so don't drag me into your rabbit hole.
But yes, he's gotten portly.
Okay, okay. I said go down by yourself.
I've never been to St. Vincent. Never. Even though my maternal grandparents are from St. Vincent, I've never been to St. Vincent. You're going quiet again.
Yeah. And he's probably checking something. There's a little noise on his microphone. So.
Yeah, he had a little noise just coming through.
Yeah, so
I think his air conditioner is blowing on him.
I don't know. It's something. You see, right now it's gone. It's clear.
Yeah.
Let's hope when he comes back, he leaves it wherever he throws the coffee.
So no, I didn't have on my air conditioner. I just was meddling with it. But what I'm saying is, no, I did when I went to St. Vincent was to do American dance.
Oh, you did it there already?
Yeah, we did American dance.
Ah, okay.
Did on Young Island. Mm-hmm. There's a little island.
I think you have said that before.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What else? Well, we'll do good news and then we'll get into some mainstream politics and so on, and some greetings and so on. Because I see a certain minister has already put himself in hot water by putting out an ad on his own personal page for construction workers. I'm not possibly going to have a hard time with him,
Thank you, Cadbury.
You get a Cadbury?
It actually have somebody there, Don't get tapping, Charles. Yes.
Okay. And somebody who's listening too.
Let me take a sip of my coffee to meet me.
I need a Cadbury to myself. Yes. Was the butler on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? What was his name?
Is it Reeves or something like that? I can't remember his name.
Somebody could put it. Somebody put it in the chat.
Somebody put it in the comment section. It's his name. It's his name I was trying to remember.
Yeah, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh God, he was a rude little old man.
Yeah, so.
He used to get him. Let me see somebody put it in the chat. Nobody is Junior. No.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not Junior. Joffrey, that's it.
Jeffrey. I know thought of Dennis James and it came Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, that's what his name.
That is it. You are right. Yeah, it comes back now when you said it.
Yes.
All right.
Lots of people put in his name now. Thanks to you all. Jeffrey was his name.
Benson. Benson's an ex-popular one also.
Benson was an actual show, eh?
Yeah.
But I don't know why Cadbury stuck in my mind. Cadbury from way back in the day.
Mr. Belvedere.
Cadbury's from.
You remember Mr. Belvedere? That was a sitcom also with the same name.
Belvedere, that's a little before time, Charles.
A British butler in an American home.
Yeah. All right. And of course, there was Nanny Fine, who ended up being the lady of the house, huh? You remember the movie Nanny?
Yeah.
Nanny, yeah.
When older people are talking, you're just respectful and you leave them.
All right, okay. Well, let's
up to our good news now.
That's so good.
When talking about this country, I've just returned from one of the best holidays of my life, and as someone that travels frequently, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. This place has it all: untouched, secluded beaches that feel like your own private paradise, waterfalls hidden deep within lush rainforest, and a culture so rich and diverse it feels like several countries in one. On one side of the island, the rhythm, food, and traditions speak to strong African roots. On the other, vibrant Indian heritage shines through, especially in the mouth-watering street food like doubles, bus-up shots, and so much more. Sunsets are unreal. And the people, some of the warmest and most welcoming I've ever met. There's a real sense of community here, something that's so hard to find these days. Oh, and did I mention it's a twin island nation? Yes, 2 for the price of 1, with hummingbirds fluttering through the trees and a soundtrack of waves and steel pan in the background. It's hard not to fall in love. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago.
I will cross any ocean to find it. Won't let no mountain get in the way. Hey. Come cross the water, been through the fire. I know that my heart will show me the way. Everywhere you turn, you see people smiling. Wow. We don't see no creed and race. Don't want nobody tell we about leaving. We fight for we thing and this is we place. Take me home. Take me home. Take me to a place where my heart don't feel no pain. Take me home. Take me home.
Take me home. Olia, these pancakes came out boss. For the first time I ever tried making custom pancakes like this, I come out wet. And you know we must hit them with some nice scrambled eggs. And me, I like my eggs bun to the bone. Me like no over whites and yolk and this and that. I want it bun and hard. Check it out. Morning everyone. Check out what we come up with today. I love Trinidad and Tobago pancakes. I never see these before. So I said let me try a thing. Check it out. Trinidad, I will always love you. You will always be in my heart.
So I gave you all 2 bits of good news for one, and thanks to our different listeners who have started sending us clips about what they figure can be good news in the morning. You can continue to do it. You can send it to the 2811315 number on WhatsApp, and guess what? We'll play it just like we just did. So, you know, any good news, you can forward it to that number via WhatsApp and Sir Charles will pass it on. So that's been our good news this morning, just to make sure you are in a good mood.
So before you move on, so the people who are not visual, remember you're straddling both sides. So you give them a little description as to what happened here now.
Oh, how are we doing that?
Well, just tell them what it was about. It's about Trinidad and Tobago food and places. And a man was eating one egg.
But it wasn't, but didn't they just hear it? It wasn't completely silent.
The first video though was images of mostly Tobago. Because I know Trinidad, they had that kind of blue water. I know part of Trinidad with that blue water.
Well, I'm sure people in the comment section could answer.
Wait, blue water in Trinidad? No. In Tobago, yes.
You're saying it in a kind of disparaging way, yeah?
No, I'm just saying.
No, you're saying it in a disparaging way, I'm telling you.
Take it how you like it. I don't do the sea, but I'm saying I never see blue water in Trinidad. I know that, Chris, that blue water that had to be Tobago, that white sand beach. That had to be Tobago. But then the videos about Trinidad and Tobago, so we appreciate that. You know, and the coconut vendors and all the different aspects of life in Trinidad and Tobago, which is always so exciting. I mean, we got a little taste of it last night. We had a guest who's here from Trinidad, and it just so happens I interacted with a few people who listen to us, but who live abroad. And Charmaine was here recently. Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach is also here, and he took us out last evening. We lime in a Rima.
We did. Good morning to you, Robert.
Robert, you know what I mean? Robert is a real Jari. Robert, he redder than Richard, and to be redder than Richard, he had to be red. You understand? So he's here and for a few days, so he took us out. And also I interacted with Boy Bidesi. Good morning, Boy Bidesi. He called me yesterday and we chatted. Boy Bidesi, I want you to go online today and check for that appointment, right? It's supposed to be available. That's what I was told, right? So if you can't do it yourself, get somebody to check for you for that appointment that you're seeking, right? I was told last night that it was available. And also, who else I interacted with? Someone else. Anyway, the name will come to me in a bit, you know. But special good morning to all the people who would have reached out.
Zena, how could you forget Zena?
Zena, I went by Zena and I collected that thing. But Zena don't just have ceramic pigs, you know. Zena have plants galore. Zena has a green thumb, clearly, because I watching Zena plants, I see, but these things, your plants look lovely, Zena. She says, see how I just occupy my time? You feel I just under a PNM blanket calling all your whole morning? No. But she has some lovely plants in her yard. You know, so good morning, Zena. I haven't seen Zena in a while, you know, but I've been hearing Zena, but we haven't seen one another in a little while. So it was good passing home by her yesterday, too. I was busy in Arima yesterday, but whoa. You know, so good morning, and of course we have an interview coming up today with Ashton Ford. We have an interview
in the next hour. We'll be speaking with Ashton Ford. Of course, he's a former general secretary of the PNM.
Yes,
and of course, he will have lots of opinions, I guess, on you know, not only where the PNM is going, but on the Senate picks by both people and stuff like that. So he has agreed to speak with us this morning. So we'll be speaking to Ashton Ford in the next hour.
Yeah,
shouldn't miss that, because Ashton is usually very frank about how he sees things.
Yes, and tomorrow we'll speak with ASP Avian Francis. She is from the Victim and Witness Support Unit, I think. Overseeing, I think, is child protection and all these matters. So we will speak with her tomorrow.
Because there's been a 32% reduction in terms of sexual offenses against children.
Yes.
And so we'll be delving into that data and find out what they've been doing.
Yeah.
But so, in the next hour, Ashton Ford, get ready to rumble.
Because you know Ashton Ford gives no... That word that I don't use.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That word that I don't use, he gives none.
Is he still an active member, as in the executive and stuff of the party?
No, he's not an executive. He's not on the executive of the PNM anymore. He was a general secretary, if you remember, for years. He's now retired. I guess Ashton, that's why I said he gives no that word that I don't use. You know, he speaks as he see it, you know. I guess he plenty older than me, but I guess I like him in a kind of way. Because I got this interesting invitation yesterday to accept a certain belt. I got an interesting invitation.
Can we just go to the greetings, please?
All right. Let me do birthdays first. Because some people who listen to us. Lennox Sandy, happy birthday. Nadel Archie from the Port of Spain Corporation. Donna Marks, Diane Deshanta, Saida Mohammed, Robert Paris, the mayor of San Fernando. He is celebrating his birthday today. Those are my birthdays. Today, of course, is Tuesday, May 27th. And the greetings online. Anthony Tinto, he clearly couldn't sleep last night. 11:21, he messaged, Grand Rising to the breakfast crew. Well, Anthony, he had to say Grand Rest because we are rising yet. At least I don't think so. We were now about to go to sleep, I guess. God's grace, blessings, good morning. This is from Suzanne Jessup. Love always from Suzanne, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. Joyce Phillips, Melissa in Charfleur. Richard Gemmet, who says good morning from Rio Claro, from his mom Josephine and himself. Marcia Rock.
Good morning, Ma Josephine.
Robert Taylor says, good morning, my brothers. It was my pleasure meeting and hanging with you all last night. Positive conversations, lots of laugh. Both you and Richard welcome me home with a big smile. Thank you very much, Robert.
Yeah,
Boy Bidesi, Boy Bidesi from Debe. Boy, don't forget I tell you to check your inbox, right? I messaged you. Sherwin Kerr says, and my wife Juliet from Arima wishing the breakfast crew. This is from him and his wife. Ingrid from Tucson.
Morning, Sherwin.
Arizona. CJ
morning,
from
Ingrid.
New York.
Good morning, CJ.
Safely back at home.
Good morning,
Zena, TJ is also saying special good morning, Sir Well, her list is increasing. Wow. Rena Jennings, good morning from Pity Valley. Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale. Annie Bunyan, good morning.
Good morning, Annie.
Cheryl Johnson. I said arch nemesis. Cheryl Johnson. Gavin Frank. Carol Guevara. Brennan Smith from, he said he's in Arima today, but he's normally from Goodwood in Tobago. Lambert Bruce. Brent Hackshaw. Josie Richardson. Katian Charles, Hazel Will, Subash Mangal, Valerie Mendoza, Miguel Gonzalez, Ambrose Blanc, Andrew Joseph, Ozzy Molino, Mrs. R, Hilary Zan, all of these who sent Jeffrey's name, Brent Hackshaw, Magic, Robert Harper, David Wales, Cadbury is Richie Rich Butler. Cadbury was from the cartoon Richie Rich.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You remember?
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me where Cadbury is from, David Wales. And it just so happens is we have Richie Rich right here. Look at him. Look at me. Look at me. Chris Tussell says good morning. Who else? All these are repeats. James Kamau, DL Evans David, Julia Batiste, Alistair Hart, Diane Payne, Trini Gets Fit, Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Margaret Thomas, who's a new name, and Carl M. Jack from Baghdad. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Carl M. Jack, you're out there.
They're a Baghdad person. I like that.
Nice. So we have people from all over the world and all over Trinidad and Tobago. Isn't that something?
Let me tell you who's on the WhatsApp with us also this morning. Good morning to Terry Ann Peters, and also Archbishop Ashton Clark out there in Brampton. G and C Auto Security, they are down in the west, down by Wendell.
All right.
Yeah. Carlin, who is also down in Carronage. Well, of course, Susan, who's on the boat chats. Wayne on the office in Barataria. And I also want to say good morning to DJ Ray out there in Delaware. And of course, condolences to DJ Ray. There's a couple of people in his family over the last week that just passed. His grandson and one of the matriarchs at 92 went also. So condolences to you, DJ Ray. And that is it. Oh, and Nicole out there in Toronto also. Good morning to you.
All right. So we had. I just starting to feel like one of these mornings we'll wake up and just be doing greetings for the 2 hours.
Yeah. We're going on and on. You had to break it up in 2 and 3.
Yeah. So Kemuel, Pascal, Odell, Guy, Cheryl, Silly, and Anwell. Also, good morning and welcome to the best show.
And Mr. Beeps just joined us. Mr. Beeps, good morning.
All right. So we're always happy to greet you all. Don't worry. We'll find a space to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
You're important.
Very important.
Important.
It is.
All right.
It is.
So apparently a government minister has already got himself in a bit of hot water by putting on his Facebook page an application form for anybody interested in working in the construction industry. He's a government minister in the Ministry of Housing, and he put that out on his Facebook page. Why would he do that? He alone can explain. But we'll try to get him one day. One of these good fine mornings, we'll try to get him to explain.
I'd say he's in hot water. Was he berated for it? Did he have to pull it back down? Or?
Well, he is justifying it as he would always do. You understand? But I don't know that it's appropriate for a minister to put an application form on his personal page. That's something for HDC to do. You understand?
No. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you with that. But you said he got into hot water, so I wasn't.
Hot water in terms of social media.
Oh, okay.
You understand? In terms of social media, I don't know that he has gotten in hot water with his prime ministers yet. You know, but of course I try to talk about the gentleman. The least I try to talk about gentleman, the better, right? So it takes a lot out of me to talk about it, to highlight anything he does or says, right?
But he's a gentleman. Isn't there something when you become
something like that? You expect him to come on the show?
Yes.
But isn't
Yeah,
there
yeah.
something, Wendell, when you become a minister or something, you're supposed to divorce yourself from the company that you own on business and something like that?
Well,
Isn't
I
there
don't
some
think
sort
it's
of
about the
provision for that?
company he owns. I hope.
And yeah, it didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get his sense but from what you said, when that was about his own personal company. I think he was just being enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. That's what it is. That's what.
Yeah.
That's a very good word, Richard.
Yeah.
Your butler taught you well. But that's what it feels like. So we'll see how that goes. And one of the bullies come online already. They're gonna continuously message whole morning. Watch again. And then of course there's the election of the Speaker of the House that also drew a little bit of criticism in terms of his past. You know me, I'm not one of those who are going to join on that bandwagon, because
I mean, if you didn't, you were acquitted from the court.
Yeah.
Therefore, the presumption of innocence held. That's how I look.
Yeah. Whether it's on technicality or not, I'm not one of those. Which is why too we didn't agree with how they dealt with the Vibes Cartel thing either.
Yeah.
You understand? Because
the presumption of innocence held.
Yeah.
That's how we look at it. So.
Yeah. You know, and of course, yesterday I think there was a police-involved shooting that warranted a statement from the Minister of Homeland Security. The shooting was in Arima, Richard, actually. You know?
I think that was such a
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know where the statement is, but we can take some calls. We could open up the lines and take some calls. Roman,
it's actually on the newspapers today when I'm doing the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do the headlines first and then we go to calls?
Yeah, do the headlines first.
Yes, do that.
Just to get it out of the way. So I'll start with the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today, and then we'll come to your calls. Of course, today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. The main headline in the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian: DPP orders teens release, inquest to be held into fatal stabbing of mom's attacker. Now, that story, we haven't really delved into it, but this was making lots of rounds on social media and lots of people with opinions on that story, where the gentleman or the man who was stabbed was attacking the boy's mother, and the boy in turn attacked him, and the man died. And of course, he was the boy was held, but for a lot of people, they felt he should be released. A lot of public opinion was. But anyway, the DPP orders teens release. That's the headline. Inquest to be held into fatal stabbing of mom's attacker. The fire hazard, we're talking about the Princestown. I think it's the Princestown. Yeah, it is. Fire station. So it's Minister Alexander, together with the fire chief, assistant chief fire officer, Southern Division, toured there yesterday in terms of dealing with that issue, because 2 houses apparently burned in Princestown within the last week or so. Police killed bandit in Arima shootout. So that's the story that you just referenced, Wendell.
Yes.
And Tanco steps up security at family home. So that's also on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. That would have connected to the story we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Matthews stands alone again. England sweeps West Indies 3-0. So that's on the back page. Of course, I think that's women's cricket, isn't it? Wendell?
Sorry?
It's not women's cricket.
No, I didn't hear what you say. Sorry.
About Matthews stands alone again.
Yes. Haley Matthews is that's women's cricket. Yes.
Yeah. So that's the front and the back page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. Daily Express, the headline: "We will fix it." Alexander vows swift action to restore Princestown Fire Station. Education Minister undertakes review of all incomplete schools initiated under former PP government. Well, you know, that was a pet peeve on this show. That particular school in St. Joseph, which is almost opposite the St. Joseph police station across the priority bus route.
Yeah.
Which I raised from Minister Garcia up. And they kept saying, yes, we get into it. It is now, it's almost like you had to start over now. Because it has gone, I mean, it was vandalized. People take the roofing and stuff and all sorts of things. I don't want to say where I think the roofing went, but it's just gone.
It's scurried through the bushes.
Gone.
Gone.
If you thought humans couldn't just do demolition by themselves with their bare hands, that is testimony to it. You should go get it for records.
True.
So on the back page, project in doubt, uncertainty over Sando waterfront after election. Oh, come on. It'll be good for San Fernando. I thought it was a really good project. So I think it should be continued, but that's just my personal opinion. I find it take too long to get things done and completed. And finally, it took forever to get to that San Fernando waterfront project to where it is now completed. Yes. You know, lift the entire waterfront of San Fernando, you know. So I am sorry to hear the uncertainty. I just think there's certain projects that are national in scope and should just continue.
Yeah.
That's one. Community policing linked to 30% crime drop, and we will be discussing that tomorrow, because there's now a 30% crime drop, so we can tackle that with Ms. Francis also. And of course, in the sports, London showdown, Soca Warriors, Reggae Boys turn up the Caribbean heat in England. We have to get Dwight York on, Start working on that, Wendell.
Yes, I remember you said that already, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We have to get him on for conversation, and because World Cup football, what are our chances, things like that. You know, a lot of Trinidadians are very negative about it. Behave on yourselves! But they are very negative about it. Matthews shines again, but England women sweep T20 series and Hope hails crucial win. West Indies skipper praises progress versus Ireland. Focus shifts to England tour. And the third and final daily for this morning, Newsday, front page, a plea, not a threat. Security Minister on cutlass wielding man's message to Tanku. A plea, not a threat. That's what the security minister is saying. Now, you know, when they say security minister, I'm always confused. What they're talking about homeland security, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's a plea, not a threat. Well, I think that's for the police to determine, not so?
Yes.
If you come in front of a minister's house and you say something that may be inappropriate. Plea and
Well,
threat.
I can't imagine a man rides up on a bicycle with a cutlass, makes a threat as was reported, and nothing has been done about it. They can't find who that is. I'm sure people know.
But they said they couldn't find the man, well, according to the media reports yesterday. But what I'm saying, you know, there's a very slim line sometimes between a plea and a threat. You should know that right there.
Yeah.
Very slim line.
Yeah.
Of what's a threat?
We missed what you said, son. A bit of what you said just now.
Okay. I said there's a very fine line between a plea and a threat. Depending on how it's said.
Yes, true.
You know, I could say, Wendell, help me now, man. And I could say, Wendell, help me. Help me, you know.
Yeah, you better help me,
You better help me, you know.
Yes, true.
There's a plea, yeah. So anyway, so that's the front page, and there's also Minister Alexander looking at the Princestown fire station, and on the back page, Deets regional squad in need of 20 international players. West Indies women short on talent, and York. Oh, we're just talking about you. You live young, live long. Unity Cup, an eye opener for Trinidad and Tobago, and that's it for our 3 dailies this morning.
All right, well done. So we could open up the lines now and take some calls. 281-1315. Our guest, as I said, in the second hour will be Ashton Ford, former General Secretary of the People's National Movement, and he has lots to say. So all who like PNM Bacchanal, don't leave. All who are against the PNM and who feel the PNM will remain in opposition from now till never, don't go away. Don't turn your dial. Ashton Ford will be here. Don't play watch it under your eyes, you know.
All right, so we ready to go to the line?
Let's take the calls.
Okay. Caller, morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Charles, Mr. Richard, and Mr. Anna Wendell.
Morning, Mr.
How you
Grant.
going, brother?
Not too bad.
Yeah. Just for saying, speaking in on you and just watching out things going on in the place. Yeah.
Mr. Grant, answer me this question. How do you see us? How do you see us or listen to us? What device do you use? You look at it on TV?
Yeah. Me, I know what's up and that kind of thing. I don't know better watching all you.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to just be sure. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Mr. Grant. All right. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't engage you for some reason. Hello, good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, dear Lincoln.
Morning, Lincoln.
How are you all doing?
We're good.
We're good.
Richard?
Yeah, go ahead. He's listening.
Richard, I had a question for you, but the question was answered this weekend. I was going to ask you if other actors doesn't come to other actors should play, but I saw one in your play on Saturday, so I was wondering, and my question was answered, right? How many? When I get to find out something from me, I don't know the procedures to get the answer to the question, but how many active what you were looking for, the people who does autopsies that we have in Trinidad right now?
I don't know.
Forensic
pathologist.
Yeah, forensic pathologist. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because the problem in Tobago still exists. I spoke to one of the secretaries in Tobago this weekend, and she said that they are working on it. But the problem in Tobago still exists. It's going on. Over today is a week and a day that, an autopsy can't get done in Tobago. They're waiting on the forensic pathologist to come from Trinidad to do same. So
that's been a long-standing problem in Tobago, since we interviewed Dr. Alexandrov years ago.
Long-standing problem.
Yeah.
Right? And they say who feels it knows it. And that is why I agree with some sort of autonomy for Tobago, because Tobago, depending on Trinidad, too much to do certain things that they could probably do themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
All right. Take
Right,
care.
Lincoln. Good morning, caller.
Hold on. Let me gauge it. Yeah. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Morning, Zena.
Zena.
Morning. You see how when the light telescopic? It's a good thing I let him come inside to see when more addition to them papers.
Yeah, we had more thing to show him.
Now, I ain't going in your yard with that big dog there. You crazy?
No, we know you have a big dog too.
No, and I got two. My sister was on the other side, but we put her to sleep around Christmas there. She was getting sick, very sick. Yeah. So, I want to say morning, and Charmaine wasted no time in pulling up back that show to take it in. By the time I called her, she done halfway through the morning show already. I said, well, boy, you really cooked. Only her Charmaine, they like she and drunk with this morning show.
A big fan. Big fan.
Yeah.
She is a big fan.
Yeah. So I just said morning, but to the what's his name there, who just called earlier?
Lincoln.
I don't know what happened. I must find out whatever became of the forensic people we had in Tobago. There was Boris.
Dr. Boris.
Dr. Boris, and you had oh gosh, what's the other guy?
Devins.
Yeah, well,
Hands
I don't know what became of them, but like they have probably that maybe it was a little bit of politics mixed up there. And then we had that gentleman from away who was here long time.
Valerie, some kind of thing, I think was his name.
Alexandrov.
Right. And I don't think he was treated that good, in terms of his contract.
They overworked the man.
Kind of thing, and he was overworked. But what happened, I think, is that they should call on people whoever think they're interested, because there's another thing everybody would like to do or could do. pays the dead to do that. So people who are interested and you have the qualifications, give them a chance to learn, give them scholarships to learn that forensic medicine there.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's something that is so surely lacking here. And whoever they get, whether even if it's from here or abroad, they have to give them a good contract and pay them handsomely, because that's not an easy job.
Yeah.
So that's part of the solution, I think. Thank you.
I know thanks, Zina. I know Mrs. Sampson mentioned, I think her granddaughter was also studying forensic pathology. I vaguely remember her calling in a show and speaking about her granddaughter doing that, you know.
Yeah. Hello, morning caller.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I want to raise 3 quick points. Yes, thanks. 3 quick points. One is I have an agreement with all the preamble all the spoke about stopping projects started by a previous administration. I have a serious problem with that. And I agree with Mr. Richard Ragubase. I think that San Fernando project there on the show, waterfront project, I think it's a marvelous. I was there. I went there just not too long ago to attend one of my colleagues in the Fairport, and I think it's something should be continued. So I will urge a government that I support it to continue that project. Look beyond politics, but for the restoration of the San Fernando airport. Next thing I want to dive into is the killing by. I want to make a client go to stepfathers in relationship in Trinidad and Tobago. So really be careful how you're dealing and you're feeling in this situation. It was so sad. I see the DPP, so I can speak about it. The DPP said the young man, this is the poor man thing, But I understand from somebody told me it was a stepfather who was, taking advantage of his mother and that kind of stuff. So I want to tell you stepfathers, you have to be careful in these relationships. Some want to beat up the mother of these children, and then it really is a touchy situation and very sensitive. The third point is the football today. I think it's the Unity Cup. Wendell, Unity Cup.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure, Mr. Billy.
It's Unity Cup.
With Trinidad and Tobago is involved today, right? Trinidad and Tobago, the national team under our new coach, right here. I want to wish them the best. I know it's a young team mixed with a blend of some old ones like the guy from the defense from Molino and all of them there. But I want to wish them the best, and I want to wish Dwight here, on a big assignment, in a prelude to the World Cup, right, which is coming up in the next few months, right, our qualifications. So I just want to wish them the best and hope that the players play for country, put it in, heart, put heart in it, and let's go out and go a good showing against Germany Saturday. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Billy.
Mr. Billy.
Staunch UNC supporter, but always respectful in his comments.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're taking your calls 281-131. Richard, I hope you come up with a poll already, I'm tired.
No, that's not my work. I say that like a public servant there. And then my work.
Good morning to you, caller.
Richard, not easy. Morning. Morning, Sir Charles.
Morning,
Richard. Morning, Wendell.
Morning, Mr.
So, Richard, explain to me, please. So, Philip Alexander said he put that up on his personal page, right, his Facebook page. And the Prime Minister said, whatever minister does at his own personal time is not a problem. But how come there was an issue?
Did she say that?
Yeah. She and she said that is their personal time, right? I didn't know a minister had personal time to do things to hire people, so isn't it discriminatory? He said it's for the Port of Spain people, so I'm to people in other areas, and he said it's for names of people for a contractor for agency. What it is I hear in here?
Yeah,
because
I think there is a merging of the lines, and if the Prime Minister in fact said what a minister does on his private time does not matter, it's an incorrect statement because you're now a minister of government. So what you do in your private time can matter. But let's move beyond that statement. if you are wanting to post up something for your representatives as the shadow MP for the area, then do it in that kind of role. I am the shadow MP, have a site for that, because you're now a minister in the Ministry of Housing. So you have to be careful of blurring all of those lines. Because if, for example, you had I'm not saying that he probably doesn't. If you had a private contracting firm or construction firm, and you are using that as a method to get contracts, or you're putting it on your contract page, it starts to become messy.
Conflict of interest.
And so I mean, while there may be nothing legally wrong with what he has done, and I don't think there's anything legally wrong, it's just to be careful about blurring the lines and knowing where you can place what.
Richard, and Marinel, you remember last few months ago when Adrian Leons had this issue with this firm that he had and whatever. You see the big uproar about that? You see the big uproar? They want him to resign and all. Imagine.
You're absolutely correct.
It's not exactly the same thing. That one was a little bit more involved, but this one is.
Yeah, but he wasn't involved in anything. He wasn't. He was outgoing. He wasn't a candidate. He didn't go up as a candidate. That's happened long before.
The circumstances with Adrian Leons were a little bit more. There was more context and more things to discuss. This one is just his personal page. So whereas there may be nothing wrong with it, I'm just saying it becomes messy because of the position you hold. So
to
you need
me,
to be aware of that.
Everything that is not illegal always correct. Some things that don't look good because it is legal. It seems as though that's the way to go.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Trinidad sweet to bad ass.
Thanks very much, Davide.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hold on. I'm getting it back for you. Then I lost it. Sorry about that.
Charles just had to go and unplug out the wire and push in the next wire.
No. You see, sometimes when the calls come in 1, 2, 3, and you get rid of one, sometimes that's the next time the person hang up and you have to wait for them to call back.
I see Candice Pascal is asking a question that I am also asking. Where can we find where the PM said that that's his personal page or personal time? Because I didn't see that. I didn't hear that either.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
I don't know. I didn't hear it, but I'm guessing if she did, it's a strange statement. But not a strange statement, but that statement needs to be contextualized a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially as you've made a point of telling your ministers that you don't do X, Y, or Z, there'd be consequences.
Okay. Caller is there. Caller, good morning to you.
Morning, gentlemen. How you guys going?
Hi, Captain Ron.
We're good.
Hey, how you doing? Nice hearing you. I'm in the airplane right now. We're doing a morning flight up to Boston from Miami. So, but I like the person you're bringing on. What time he's coming on?
At 7:15.
7:10.
7:10.
Just after news.
Yeah, we listen to it from there. So I can't call back then. All right. Well, y'all have a good one.
Captain Ron, out of curiosity, you actually listen to the show while you're in the air, flying?
Yeah, the headphones can pick it up. We have Wi-Fi in the airplane.
What? I really had to take a flight with you now. I find which airport you're flying from.
I'm not the only one doing it, Everybody does it. The headphones we have now, and your phone, it's all the Bluetooth system.
All right.
So you can listen and then also talk with the ATC. But the thing is, it's just to keep you. Yeah, it's because that you're flying for 6-7 hours. You don't want to sleep, so step into something.
Yeah, Captain Ron, thanks much.
All right.
All right, safe flight from is Miami to Boston. He said, right?
Good morning, caller. Caller, are you there?
But we should get to our poll this morning, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, well, caller, one more Richard. You there? Miss Sampson, are you there?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
the morning prayer. And whenever you have time, could you play Mr. Trinidad by Maestro? You guys have a good day.
Okay,
All
no
right, take care.
problem. Thanks very much, Miss Sampson. All right, go ahead with the poll, guys.
Go ahead,
No, I
Richard.
don't. Did we do a poll concerning about the losing candidates and the Senate? Did we do a poll?
Yes, we did. Yes,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah. I think we did it. Didn't we do it yesterday?
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. That's why I seen the poll up here.
Ooh,
I seen
boy,
about. I have the
Where is
front
Doc?
graph.
Where is Doc? Charles, where is Dr. Nicholas Maraj when you need him?
Yeah. So I have about 3 different polls in the poll section here, and I'm like, didn't we do
Why
these?
you giving all the polls?
No, because some of them I just draft and have there now in case it becomes pertinent. But none of these here are pertinent to Ashton Ford and that interview today. Besides that one which we did already, that was the only one that I was looking at that seemed relevant. So I don't know if you came up with one, Wendell.
Well, I mean, we've been discussing a particular topic. Unless you want to pull that, is it appropriate for a minister to put on his personal page?
I find maybe the San Fernando waterfront project. Do you think it should be continued?
Let's do that. Let's do that. You know me. I have no problem.
Let's be our morning poll. So that's our morning poll. Do you think that the San Fernando waterfront project should be continued? That's our poll this morning.
Yes or no? Mr. Billy, we doing your poll. Right?
Yeah.
Do you think the San Fernando waterfront project should be discontinued or continued? Which one we asking?
Continued.
All right. The first vote come from a man from San Fernando, Alistair Hart. Whenever you're ready, just say Richard.
All right, we have call after the caller. What do you say about the poll?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you reached the poll. I was listening on my phone and trying to call you. At the same time, so I missed that. Sorry. I was calling about what you were talking about before. I'll call back. Bye-bye.
Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Caddy.
That sounded like Kathy and Tom.
Yes, it is.
Let me say a special good morning to a special lady. Her name is Ms. Andrea Narayan Singh. Good morning, ma'am. I'll tell you who she is one of these days. Alistair Hart says yes. Romantic says yes. Wayne Joseph, yes. Marlon Motley, yes. Joyce Phillip, yes. Kazim Mohammed, yes. Hazel Will, yes. Trini Bree, yes. Beauty Culture says good morning. Cheryl Seeley, yes. Cheryl Henry, yes. Ava Smith, yes. Gregory Boyer, morning, Gregory. Yes. Boy B. Dacey, yes. DL, yes. Julia Batiste, yes. Ilarizan, yes. Carol Guevara, yes. Trini Bree, yes. Diane Payne, yes. Finbar Collins, definitely yes. Gillian Dick, definitely yes. That's a new name. Anne Noel, yes. Dale Predcott, that's also a new name, says yes. Beauty Culture, yes. Dwayne Sylvester, yes. Robert Harper did a synopsis, a whole analysis, and a whole book to not vote. Crystal Stevenson, no. Rain Ramsey, yes. Annie Bunyan, yes. Michael Robinson, yes. Magic, yes. Melissa, yes. Robert Harper now votes, he says yes. Lester Cragwell, yes. Andre Reno, yes. Ulrich Fathead, and a lot of other things says yes. Jason Samuel also says yes. So Charles?
It's a totally yes going on right now, So
they had one no.
Afia Lashley says yes. Captain Ron says yes. Frank says yes. Dre says yes. Black Pearl says yes. Terry Ann Peters, yes. Miss Sampson, definitely. And of course, Zena saying yes. And Miss Abedi saying yes.
All right, I have a few more here. We just have half a minute to vote, people. Jason's, and I said Jason Samuel already. Denzel Alexander, yes. Patricia Defoe, yes. Tanisha Lewis, yes. Rena Jennings, yes. Anthony Atwell, yes. And Terrence Roach, yes. So all those votes are at the 7 a.m. hour. We'll now break for the news. And when we come back, keep voting, people. When we come back, I'll start from Sheridan, right?
All right. So it's now 7 a.m. on the dot, and it's now time for our 7 a.m. news.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Minister in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, David Nakid, has called for African history to be included in the school curriculum. Speaking on African Liberation Day at the Black Agenda Project's African Unity Conference in Laventille, Nakid said local education prioritizes European figures like Christopher Columbus while ignoring African heroes such as Thomas Sankara and Steve Biko. We know everything about those who raped and pillaged our people, but little about those who fought for our liberation, he stated. A High Court judge has ruled that the Food and Drugs Division acted illegally when it barred local distributor Rollins Marketing Company from selling 1,900 cases of imported Sting energy drinks. Justice Frank Seepersad declared the FDD's directive null and void, stating it had no legal authority to restrict goods already cleared by customs. The company had paid over $44,000 in duties, and the drinks later tested safe by Kariri. The judge criticized the FDD for overstepping its legal powers. 34-year-old businessman Haqqani Ali was shot and killed early yesterday morning at his pool facility in Kunupia. Around 1:10 a.m., while securing the premises, an employee heard gunshots and discovered Ali with gunshot wounds to the head. A suspect described as slim build, about 5 feet 5 inches, wearing a white vest and surgical mask, was seen fleeing. 2 9mm shells were recovered. The motive remains unknown. 17-year-old Krisan Bedesi of St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando, has made history as the first Trinidad and Tobago student accepted into the prestigious Yale Young Global Scholars Program. The National Youth Award winner and UNESCO ambassador will attend the Politics, Law and Economics session from July 6th to 18th, describing the opportunity as miraculous and life-changing. Krisan, who aims to one day represent Trinidad and Tobago at the United Nations, has already received help from her school and a kind donor who purchased her flight ticket. However, she and her mother, Susanna, a single parent and hairdresser, are still seeking to raise $4,000 to cover accommodation and other travel expenses. They hope Susanna can accompany her daughter for safety and support during this groundbreaking opportunity. Supporters can donate via First Citizens Bank, account number 1984690, or contact 3362805. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, Guyana's President Irfan Ali has announced general elections for September 1st, 2025. Speaking during the independence flag-raising ceremony, Ali said he will soon dissolve parliament. He will lead the People's Progressive Party Civic in a bid for a second term against the People's National Congress Reform and Alliance for Change, who have not yet finalized their coalition plans. In international news, US President Donald Trump called Russian President Vladimir Putin absolutely crazy, following Russia's largest air assault on Ukraine since 2022. The attack involved 367 drones and missiles, killing at least 13 people. Trump said Putin has gone absolutely crazy, needlessly killing a lot of people. Meanwhile, Germany's chancellor declared no range limits on arms supplied to Ukraine, possibly paving the way for Taurus missiles with 500-kilometer range to strike military targets inside Russia. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Men, women, tired of the invasive, painful old methods of testing prostate and breasts?
The Institute of Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Center offers comprehensive and non-invasive diagnostic testing, which indicates the nature and extent of diseases and tests your nutritional levels. Our quick testing can identify early signs of problems by evaluating many of the bodily functions, such as male and female sexual function, gastrointestinal function, liver function, kidney function, thyroid function, heart and brain function, and also cancer testing. Results are comparable with other medical lab tests without the use of needles or embarrassing specimen cups, and is pain-free. We also offer all natural treatments. Visit us now at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna, or call 492-7397 or 289-6363.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Can you feel the love on a stranger's face? When my people dancing through time and space, is our energy when we come down here? They say all we know is to jump and wave. It's in every creed and race, and the carnival is the holy grail. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I feel I could stay right here, living the mass soul, yeah. Look how the mass have way. Everybody charge up. We going high up. Full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up. We going high up. Full of energy, energy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nipples raising, we vibrating. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nipples raising, we are the ground shaking. Look around, it's all away. Jumping up as family. Tell the bad vibes not today. Love is the only energy. Look around, it's all away. Every hand up in the air. Tell the bad vibes not today. Love is the only energy.
Vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
I could hear the panorama. You know where my waist is. Behind a pretty girl.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Show here on New Era TT Radio, and we're also on M&E TV. We welcome everybody wherever you may be. Once you're tuning in, we're so happy to have you. Of course, let's see what's happening with the weather for today.
Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. This is your weather update for Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025, from New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Today, we're expecting dull, hazy, and breezy conditions, despite a few light to moderate showers occurring throughout the day. Tonight will be fair, but hazy apart from a brief shower at times. We have two important notes for you today. First, gusty winds may occur near showers, so please exercise caution if you encounter any rainfall. Second, and very importantly, a high concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Persons who are sensitive to this change in air quality are advised to take the necessary precautions to protect their respiratory health. For our neighbors in the southern Windward Islands, expect partly cloudy, hazy, and breezy conditions with a few showers occurring. There is also a 30% chance of isolated thunderstorms. In the northern Windward and Leeward Islands, expect dull, hazy, and breezy conditions today, with tonight being fair but hazy. Temperature-wise, Trinidad can expect a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius today, with a minimum of 25 degrees Celsius. In Tobago, the maximum will reach 31 degrees Celsius, with a minimum of 27 degrees Celsius. With humidity factored in, the heat index will make it feel like 36 degrees Celsius in both Trinidad and Tobago, so please stay hydrated despite the dull conditions. Sea conditions are moderate, with wave heights of 1.5 to 2 meters around Trinidad and Tobago, and 2 to 2.5 meters elsewhere in open waters. In sheltered areas, expect waves below 1 meter. The sun rose this morning at 5:42 and will set at 6:23 this evening. For those planning maritime activities today, high tides in Port of Spain will occur at 3:27 this morning and 4:51 this afternoon, with low tides at 10:14 this morning and 10:06 tonight. In Scarborough, high tides will be at 3:08 this morning and 4:25 this afternoon, with low tides at 9:59 this morning and 9:51 tonight. This has been your weather update for today. With the high concentration of Saharan dust, please take extra care if you're sensitive to air quality changes, and be cautious of gusty winds near any showers. From all of us at New Era TT Radio and M&E TV, have a safe Tuesday. Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Trico Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
All right, so we're back on the Breakfast Show. This is our second hour. Of course, we can give you the poll results. Any additional poll results, Wendell?
Yes, sir. I have some more votes. Are you ready for them, sir?
I am.
Cheryl M says yes. Miguel Gonzalez, yes. Cheryl M says good morning. Andrew Joseph, yes. Margaret Thomas, yes. Trini Gets Fit, yes. Nadia Stephen, yes. Arch Nemesis, no. Ingrid from Tucson, yes. Arch Nemesis says, I support your part. Okay. Apparently the question provides little choice. I did, okay. Carla, Cupid, not vote.
Of course the question provides little choice. Indeed, the only choice you have is yes or no. That's what I
all
put
right, no, some people put in the yes or the no in between the lyrics now, so I don't look for it.
Oh.
All right, so that's it. That's it for votes. I don't know if Sir Charles has any more.
Yeah, I have 3 yeses. Long Islander says yes. Judy Davis says yes. And of course, Mr. Patrick Billy says yes, yes, yes.
All right, so that's our poll this morning. Do you think the San Fernando Waterfront project should be continued? That's the poll that we had this morning on the Breakfast Show. We had 62 people voting in the allotted time. And of the 62 people who voted this morning in the allotted time, 60 of you said yes, the San Fernando Waterfront project should be continued. 2 people said no. So the yeas have it by a huge margin. 60 people saying yes, 2 people saying no, for a total of 62. So our morning poll is very much in the yay. It should be continued. So that's that's what our polling is telling us on the breakfast show this morning. So of course, we now close off the polling, and that would be it. But I'm still waiting to see if Ashton Ford enters the green room, so to speak. But I'm not seeing him yet. So I don't know if you would just want to reach out to him, Wendell.
You want me to reach out to him?
That's
Sure,
what I just said.
So, Charles, you have an opinion?
No.
He's saying he's waiting. Let me tell him.
Ashton is saying he's waiting. He needs to check his email.
I'm not seeing his,
walk him through somebody. Walk him through.
Let me
He
just
probably thinks you're calling him.
Oh, Wendell, I sent him an email.
No, well, Ashton is about 304, you know.
No, pretty fair too.
Well, he's about 804.
Ashton is quite savvy.
No, I just, you know me. Ashton can take a joke. You have a live with Ashton?
Yeah.
Ashton, well, first because Ashton only drinks Caribbean. He drinks nothing else. Don't offer Ashton anything else. Caribbean. That's it.
Yeah,
And
I could line with Ashton Ford.
Call him and see if you just have to click enter studio. And I sent him a message, but just find out what's going on.
I don't know how people could drink Caribbean, honestly.
Oh, shucks.
I don't understand it. People have
But you all do, so I good luck to you all.
Yeah, but people have different tastes.
Ashton, you had a corny.
Well, they walk the man through the thing now, man.
Yeah, since he doesn't know how to take off his mic, apparently.
So while we wait on that again, so we could take a call or two?
We can.
Yeah. While one of the guys go on and see if they can help Ashton get organized there. And
we could put up the number so you could number to call. So there we go.
Yeah, Cathy Ann called me back, Cathy Ann. We wanted to get in just now.
So 281-1315. 281-1315. We'll take some calls while we sort out our technical difficulties with Ashton Ford, who's trying to join the program.
Okay, so Dabby D is back on the inside. Dabby D, good morning to you.
Hey, morning, good morning. But I know it's a new government. I know everything mixed up. But I understand that, and Richard, and because I say Richard because of the legal thing, is the Minister of Defense are responsible for immigration. Because I heard that it is the Homeland Security Department or Homeland Security that's responsible for immigration. So when Mr. Sturge got into the thing with Vibes Cartel business, that wasn't his call to make. That is what I understand. Can you give me better something, Richard, on that? Thank you.
I can't give you until we speak to either of them, because we are confused as to what comes under whose portfolio at this point.
Yes.
Because when you create two ministries out of one, it transfers to different departments, and we are not completely sure. So that's why when Wayne Sturge, the Minister of Defense, was talking about it, we were like, is it under his department? If not, we weren't sure. I am trying to get Minister Sturge to come on the program. He did, so we'll see if we get him.
Hopefully we'll get him soon. Hopefully.
So he can clarify, that.
We have a caller there.
Richard, can you check to see if Mr. Ford is backstage now?
No, he isn't. I'm not seeing him yet.
Yeah.
I told him to click on the studio, so I don't know.
So Charles, you and I saying good morning to each other.
Yeah.
Good morning, gentlemen.
These guys trying to work out some kind of technical stuff in the background.
Yeah. The part where you and I say good morning to each other is coming up later. These guys are here now. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Hello?
Yeah, we are. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. I recognize that the PNM continues to interview the old stalwarts to attract a new audience.
Oh, I'm seeing.
And these are all stalwarts to me. and I'm an old man. So I don't know where you guys are going with that approach. But
it's our program. We can do what the hell we want.
You're telling us who to interview?
Yeah, did I answer you clearly enough? Did I answer you clearly enough? We can do, read my lips, we can do what the hell we want. Okay?
I agree in terms of the program, Richard. I agree. But
Thank you. But so older people don't have an opinion.
Yeah. But do you have another comment on anything else, Mr. Peter?
Ashton Ford is here. Thank you.
The essential point I'm making is that clearly the PNM is trying to rejuvenate and so that they could come back.
So you finally call in. You get tired of typing on the name. You get tired of typing.
No, I don't do the typing thing. I've never been a good typist.
Anyway, thank you, Paula, for your
input. All right, okay, no problem.
Let's the chance because we have to move to Ashton Ford.
What it is with these bullies? What it is with these two people trying to bully this show?
I know. Well, I mean.
You got Mr. Ford?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
Here we go.
Good morning, Mr. Ford.
Good morning.
Former Mayor of Arima, former Member of Parliament for Arima, former General Secretary, former attaché at the embassy in London, where I was taken for a beer with him one day. I was in London, Richard. We walk out by a bar, right by the embassy there, Good morning, Mr.
Good morning. You hearing me, right?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes,
we hear you and seeing you.
Oh, well, I'm not seeing me right. Okay.
Yeah. We're seeing it, but we're seeing part of your head missing. So you need to adjust your camera a little bit.
Where the camera? I know why.
Where the camera?
Wait, don't come on, help me.
Oh my God! You had to get help.
We see you. That's good. Right there. Keep it right there.
That is it.
Yeah, that is it. That's better.
We'll work with that.
Yeah, right. So Ashton Ford, thanks so much for joining us on the breakfast show this morning. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
All right. Good to see you both, and I hear a voice, that I'm familiar with.
Yes, it's Richard Wendell and Sir Charles. You familiar with all?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the opposition, man, Sir Charles.
Hey! All right. Mr. Ford, I hear I have to Arima and drink a beer with you,
It's donkey years, man, opposing. What you gonna do?
Papa. But Ashton, I mean, of course, a lot has happened, and the PNM, of course, was properly trounced in this general election. 102,000 people didn't vote, who voted last time. And then we have a new opposition leader. There was a transfer from Stuart Young in terms of leadership to Penelope Beckles-Robinson. And then, of course, the appointment of the Senate bench by the opposition. What is your take? Let's start off there, because that's the most recent thing in terms of the senators appointed by the opposition leader. What's your take on it in terms of her appointing candidates that would have lost in terms of the general election and that would have caused PNM to go into opposition?
Let me start by saying, see those ladies she appointed, very good young ladies. I am agreeing with those appointments. Vishnu Danpal, excellent choice. And I guess she retained Amory Brown because you needed someone with a little bit of experience and who have served as leader in the Senate and so on, and served as a minister on many occasions. You needed someone like that. But for the other two guys, I mean, a large number of party members do not support that. Now, she made an argument that Dr. Rowley lost an election and was appointed a senator in 1987. But Dr. Rowley lost in 1981. That is a different general election if you're using that analogy now, that he lost and he was a senator. That is completely different and it's a wrong argument. And she used others like Avinash Singh, who also came in long after he lost the election. The point, however, is that we believe that the government will spend time reminding both men about their term as ministers instead of they getting a chance to deal with what the government is doing. But when you're new, you have nothing to say. But when you're an old stager like Foster and Paris, it brings a little problem. In addition to which, Paris have a lot of questions to answer. The local government reform that was never implemented, and he was Minister of Local Government, he was an Attorney General, and he was ideally suited to bring the local government reform to the fore because of his legal training. That did not happen. And then there are other things that did not happen in local government. And I don't want to go into details now, that will come later. And as for Foster, well, he was General Secretary of the party, and he lost his colleague, Philip Watts, and we know the outcome of that. And that is why I was saying that instead of rushing the convention and the internal elections, we ought to have spent time getting party groups to reorganize and come again and re-elect officers and rejuvenate the ground troops rather than say, well, they had the elections last year. Now remember, last year we were in government. This year we're in opposition. So it brings about a new era. And therefore, those people who are delegates, we don't know if they will cross to the UNC, what could have carried some, and there are other PNM hierarchy people in their constituencies who worked against us. And we don't know if the delegates remain loyal to the PNM or not. And in any event, having the party groups reorganize themselves and carry out the elections would generate a little bit of interest, because remember, each party group functions in a polling division or electoral area. When they will know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And when you have a party group, members getting the message that we have to come back strong. And the population sometimes in for us, the move us people from the party may not be performing. People have seen, so we have to start afresh again, as in 1987, 1986. I was there for 1986. I was among those who lost the elections in 1986. So I know exactly what we had to do. And this is my position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you touched on Faris Al-Rawi, and you said that you felt he had a lot to answer in terms of the non-movement of local government reform. And I know Wendell, that's a pet
peeve. The hoax of local government
reform. That's a pet peeve of Wendell's, that whole issue of local government
That's
reform.
what it is.
You have Foster Cummings, who was the former general secretary of the party.
He's still
general secretary until the new convention is held and internal elections are held. And then, of course, you have Dr. Amory Brown, who's also back. I mean, he was a senator before, wasn't he?
Yes.
And so now he's back. What's your take on Amory Brown being back in the Senate?
As I said, he was a minister for many years. He was Minister of Foreign Affairs and so on. And he needed someone, as Ms. Beckles-Robinson said, you must have someone with a little bit of experience in Parliament to be there. And he was the ideal choice.
So you have no issue with him?
No.
Okay. But if not Faris Al-Rawi and Foster Cummings, who you both have issues with being in the Senate, whom would you have chosen? Who would you think would have been?
We have over 100,000 members in Richard.
No, but I mean, but there must be some people that stand out, because you have 6 positions.
Don't put me in that position.
Oh God, man!
I want to
like a little bacchanal here, man.
Honestly, I would have liked to have seen someone from the local government fraternity elevated to the rank of senator to actually push local government, because you know me, I have said it plain, local government reform has been a hoax for many years. You understand?
Yeah, you have Maureen, who was deputy mayor for Spain.
Yeah. Anybody from local government, I would have liked to seen inside of there. You understand? So at least give local government people some sort of hope that something is going to happen, because nothing has happened for the last 15 to 20 years. Nothing. Local government has gone nowhere.
Wendell, I have a different view. I'm saying that we only have one seat in South, Southwest, Southeast, San Fernando East. We could have had more senators from those areas, you know, to advocate for the constituencies that we don't have representatives. It would have been better to have at least 2 senators from the South, Southeast or Southwest, wherever, San Fernando proper, I don't know. But it would have been more politically wise to strengthen our position with senators from those areas. Only one, you know, only one little red dot in the South, you know, South Central.
Yeah.
And that is where I believe we should have put the senators.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 6 senators, so I mean, there's a very little leeway.
That's what I'm saying. You have 4 good people there. The ladies and Vishnu, Dr.
Dan Paul.
And then you have Amy. So why not have 2 from South? We have to think national and political. They have one from Tobago already. If you read her resume, you will be very impressed. So I think we are on the right track, except that for me personally, I figure South should have had 2 more. They're coming in as unknown in terms of politics, but that could be very forceful in the parliament.
Yeah, well, I did say I will give the benefit of the doubt and wait and see what is the game plan in terms of using these people in the Senate. How are they to rebuild the party and rebuild the confidence of the membership, so that something tangible could happen in the politics. I'm waiting. I'm willing to wait until June, when the leadership elections would have taken place. That's less than a month away. The leadership elections will take place, and I'll give my opinion definitely right after.
Do you think that? Yeah. Do you think that? Do you think in terms of the internal elections that are due at the end of June for the PNM, where they will I suppose finalize the whole leadership issue, because it's still a little uncertain because your political leadership still is not in sync with your opposition leader at this point? Do you think that will be finalized in that election? And do you think that the party is going to amalgamate, so to speak, around Penelope Beckles-Robinson? And do you think there's going to be a fight for that leadership position?
No, I don't think there'll be a fight for that. No. You see, we have to use our experience. Experience is the best teacher. We lost in 1983, we came back. We lost 2010, we had 12, we came back. Use the example of the approach we took in those days, and we have no problem. If we want to do it different, well, then I can't argue with that, but I would suggest that we use that approach because we came back successfully. And I don't believe there will be any contest for leadership, but there will be contest for other officers, because there's some doubt, Wendell. I'll talk to you, Wendell. Up to now, I think yesterday was the closing date for membership, new membership. That was never advertised. Nomination day is June 2nd. We haven't seen, in fact, we have not seen any ad coming out, giving out the instructions for the internal elections. You know what I'm saying, Wendell?
Yeah.
Yeah, how to be nominated and all this sort of thing. When is nomination day and where will be filing papers, at what time, and so on. I haven't seen anything.
No, I haven't seen anything either. Yeah.
So we don't know how the leadership is functioning in terms of the preparation of the June. Because my personal view, and a view shared by many other members, is that September is a more ideal time for the election. Remember, I was General Secretary in the first one-man, one-vote situation in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there when we changed the constitution to accept it, with Jennifer Batiste, who introduced that from the PSA, and she brought her experience to there, and she pushed it along with Dr. Rowley and others, Bridget Anisette George, and so on. We had a nice team working on it. And But it's strange that I'm not seeing any ads in the print in the mainstream media. Maybe it is in the social media, but I'm not a social media man. I'm not on Facebook and TikTok and all that. I'm not that at all. So, and YouTube and things, not me. So I don't know if they're not catering for some members of the party or at all. I don't know, but it's a strange development. I know I don't like to write about the party business, but they're just laying it on a platter for me to do.
Yeah.
To do exactly that.
Yeah.
You know,
But I haven't seen any indication either. But I mean, I'm kind of divorced myself from it. You know, since 2 years ago, I've kind of stepped away. I've assisted where I could, and I just Richard and Sir Charles have me working overtime now every day of the week. You know how long I do that, Ashton?
But let me tell you something, Richard. You know, most time he say give up, and last there was an election where he controlled the whole East-West corridor. And he said, Ashton, I done, you know. I was General Secretary. And he said, Ashton, I done with this, you know. But you see morning, noon, and night from from Diego Martin to San Grande. But so you give up for now. I know when he take you will back on the field. I know that.
I can't promise you that. Because you know why, Ashton? And just to refer to something you said earlier on, in terms of the comeback of the PNM in 86 and in 20 and after 86 and after 2010. Remember, it was more due to the collapse of those two governments. The A.N.R. Robinson government collapsed very early, and then it culminated in an attempted coup in 1990, the year before the election. So that was kind of easy then. And then in 2010 to 2015, that government, in a kind of way, imploded very early because people started leaving. 25 government ministers being fired, probably was on record as the most corrupt government. So it was kind of almost easy. I don't know if all the signals that's coming from this government so far and coming from the prime minister in particular, and especially with people who she has put in office, if that works, I don't know that comeback will be as easy as those two occasions.
And you know, we can't depend on that, you know. We can't depend on a government falling or anything. We have to do our work.
Yeah, well, true.
When I say we, the party, because I'm 74 now, you know. So, you know, I am supposed to be relaxing. You know, after 57 years in this thing. You agree with me, Richard?
Yeah. I don't think you're capable of relaxing. You'll always have an opinion, but I hear you.
Listen, we have so much. I interacted with the constituencies many years. I met so much bright young people, and they're politically wise too. Don't underestimate them, because they read a lot and they are involved and they organize activities in the party. And I think we have the resources available. Is to tap it and to utilize it and make sure that we hold on to the high ideals of the People's National Movement.
In terms of the government, the current government, of course, and what's your opinion Parliament? The Parliament is just opened, but they've had a lot to say within the 2 weeks or so that they've been there in different issues. And of course, they would have selected their Senate bench. Do you have any take on what's your overview of the government's first 3 weeks in office?
Well, the government has been making a lot of mistakes, but that is expected. They now start, and they have some fellows with experience there. You know, Jeremy has experience and so on. You must remember, Eric Williams said the only way to beat PNM is PNM itself. You know, and you see what happened. Watts was a PNM man. Jeremy was a PNM man. Kennedy Swartzing was a PNM man. And you have others there. So they bring in the experience in PNM there on this government, which I believe will make it more hard, or as Wendell say, a little tough for us. So we have to become more politically strategic in order to get back into our office. It will not be easy, absolutely not. But the silence by the opposition leader is causing a little concern among party members, and she has said that she's waiting to be officially appointed political leader. But I see this morning, Amy Brown has a statement about the bus passes, exposing the holders of bus passes. I see where Mrs. Robinson Reyes is talking about Philip Alexander advertising as a minister, calling out for contractors and so on. So they are already starting to make some mistakes. But that is expected when you now start. But it is good that our members, especially those who have experience and who have ministries, can respond to these things. The opposition leader cannot respond to everything at this point. And you can't compare with Dr. Rowley. Dr. Rowley was a different person. He was deputy political leader, and he's an experienced man and so on. So he was very powerful. You remember his first, from the time he took the oath as opposition leader, he went on the warpath. Like I'm calling on the Prime Minister to fire Jack Warner. Sorry. So the worst thing that could happen is to start comparing, and that will not help the party. True. What we have to do is to work along, come out with our new policies, new strategies. Because you have experienced men, you have Stuart Young, who is very, very involved in the running of the government. So I think we have a very good person there, an individual who would somehow be very important for us in this lead up to rebuilding the party.
What are your thoughts on Colmember?
Was that?
You mentioned Stuart Young as someone with experience, but we have someone with even far more experience there in Colmember. Do you think he can assist in rebuilding the party or putting the party back on a path to governance?
It depends on the mood. If he's in a good mood and someone in the mood, and I don't know.
Did you say mood or moon?
Mood and moon.
It's difficult because
but Ashton Ford, it seemed to me as if in passing, as we're having this conversation, you seem to have referenced a criticism, even though a subtle criticism of the current opposition leader, Penelope Beckles-Robinson, in that she's not being assertive enough in terms of saying, taking the leadership mantle in vocalizing PNM's concerns at this point. Is that a concern of yours? Is that a concern of yours?
It is not my individual opinion alone, It is a view shared by a lot of party members. And her response is, as I told you, is that she's waiting until she's officially elected as political leader. And then
do you accept that response?
No. So I think she should start hitting the wrong, and she has the ability to do it because she has been there for a very long time.
So that begs the question, Mr. Ford. Do you think then that the appointment of the Senate bench had more to do with the quest for political leadership than anything else at this point in time?
No, I just had a question to answer. I just had one.
We ask hard questions here,
Yeah, I know, and you get hard answers. From the hardest harder.
But do you think that's the focus now of Mrs. Beckles-Robinson? To get political leadership of the party first?
I think she wants to put the party in a state of readiness and move forward after the convention and election. Although I believe if we had the party groups reorganizing and so on, we'll get a better turnout. But that is not happening because they ignore that. I believe she was dependent on that to move forward.
Okay.
All right, fellas.
All right.
Let me just make one thing clear. Mr. Ingwood is one of the most brilliant men we have in the party, but sometimes people just don't get along with him. But I still believe he's one of the most brilliant men that we have in the party.
People don't get along with him, or he don't get along with people?
You will tell me. You were closer to him than me.
All right.
My appointment is here.
I thought I heard the horn blow.
I know you have the appointment, but thanks for giving us at least the extra minutes in terms of the discussion. Always interesting to talk to you, Ashton. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again because I'm sure stuff will be happening.
Just give you one last parting words. You see what is happening already in the government. The parliamentary secretary is now overshadowing the ministers. So, you see things developing. It's only a matter of time. But we're not depending on that,
right.
You're making a prediction here, Ashton Ford?
No, but it's coming over that way, and that's how we end up.
Well, I mean, Mrs. Posad-Bissessa has a tough job on her hands, controlling a few of those people inside of there. She's going to have a tough job on her hands.
Same as Robinson in 1986.
Yeah.
Very difficult when you bring desperate people together.
Yes.
You can't control them, especially when they are accustomed to being independent and,
Yeah.
Thanks very much, fellas.
All right, take care.
Well, thanks a lot, Ashton, for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
I hope my children don't quarrel with me again, and my grandchildren. They want me out of this thing bad.
I could well imagine. All right, Ashton.
All the best.
All right, Ashton.
Bye-bye.
Of course, that was Ashton Ford, former General Secretary of the People's National Movement, weighing in on some of the issues, including the Senate appointments. He's pretty frank. He felt two of the appointments should not have been there. He did not like the selection of Foster Cummings, and did not like the selection of Faris Al-Rawi for differing reasons. Food for thought.
Well, again, I will wait and see, because I gave my semi-opinion yesterday, but with my brown paper bag. We'll see how that goes post June 22nd. Well, June 29th. 22nd is the actual election date, and the convention is June 29th. So we'll know the results of the election on June 29th. Because I would imagine a lot of positions will be contested hotly by different people. I would imagine that, So the democracy is alive and well.
Yeah, he also felt that, just taken away from him, what he said in the review, he also felt that Penelope Beckles-Robinson needs to be talking more. If I'm simplifying it.
Should be speaking more.
Yeah, she should be speaking more. I'm simplifying it, but that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
That she's not vocal enough in terms of representing the PNM perspective on certain issues. That she's leaving it to former ministers, to articulate, like with the PPR bus thing, the issue with Philip Alexander and putting up the construction thing on his personal page, which we touched on this morning. So maybe
it's a strategy.
Well, he's saying that she's waiting for the two posts to be synchronized.
Yes,
political leader and the
opposition leader. Yeah.
But he says he doesn't buy that.
So I don't know. Penelope has a style, just like how we accepted that the other leaders before had their style. She has a style.
Did we accept it though? We may have tolerated it. I don't know that people accepted it. People were critical.
Well, they have no choice now.
Yeah, but I'm saying acceptance and tolerating are two different things.
The only other thing that could happen to change that is if they elect someone else as political leader, because the political leader will now have to align themselves as opposition leader. I suspect once a new person is elected, let's say someone different is elected as political leader, right? That person more than likely will then get to be endorsed as opposition leader.
Yeah.
That is going to create a lot of friction, just like how this one.
But Ashton Ford says that he doesn't think that is going to happen. He thinks it's going to be Penelope Beckles-Robinson.
Well, if she's the only candidate, then it's a fait accompli. You understand?
But he thinks it's going to be her because, as he said, the party coalesces in a particular way because they have historical experience, having been previously trounced in previous elections. They now have that experience and they know what they did.
Yeah.
In terms of getting the party, because you need the party to be as united as possible to get back those 102,000 people back on board. But obviously he's being critical of Penelope Beckles-Robinson in the sense that he thinks that she should be more vocal, like how hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
But as you say, that's his style, and
that's her style.
What works? I don't know what works.
Because Patrick Manning himself was pretty quiet when he got leadership and so on. He had a different kind of style too. So we've had
When he was opposition leader, but I mean, that was a Trump thing like no other, and I think that was the PNM really going through a lot of introspection. That was 33-3.
33-3, yeah.
Yeah, so that was unheralded at that point.
After 30 years of rule.
So he was in a different position altogether. It was a true historic moment in terms of PNM's history at that point.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can take some calls. We usually don't have time to take calls at this point. Usually it's calls for the person who we're interviewing.
Yes.
But we can open up the lines at this point and take some calls. Generally, as we head towards the 8 a.m. hour on our 8 a.m. news on the breakfast show.
Let me just, Boy Bidesi, I saw your message and I'm very happy that you got through. A whole slew of messages came in, but I saw that one from Boy Bidesi, right? So I'm happy that you got through. All the best. Yeah. So we'll take some calls, 2811315. Before we close off at 8 o'clock. We are actually getting to close off at 8 o'clock today. No overtime, because my invoices just keep piling up.
We go till 8:15, Wendell.
Are we going till 8:15, sir?
We always go till 8:15.
Okay. All right. If you say so, boss.
You know, Sir Charles, it's like there wasn't a discussion on this.
Apparently, you understand?
Look at you, Caller. Just wake me up in the morning, I had to adjust my life all over again to suit all day.
Good morning, Caller.
Good morning, Caller.
Yes. Well, I'm in agreement with Mr. Ford. Maybe it's a senior citizen thing. But then Richard was so happy that he got somebody from Arima. But let me tell you what, the mere idea that she would, if he says she gave that reason why waiting on that post, well then, why just Stuart Young for it? Because I feel if you are already a prime minister appointed and you take a party to election and you lose, automatically that leader becomes the opposition leader. So the mere idea, if you wanted that, if you have to hit the ground running one time, when the those in power now start to drop all kind of craziness, you have to it one time. You're not leaving it to June until when? After June? No, you have to settle the score of whatever needs to be settled immediately.
Yeah.
So if you want the post, you have to start working one time. And if you know that it would cause a thing, well, why was election and then we would see what happened, but she didn't wait, so why are you waiting now? For others to come out and talk, well, if others talking. Nah, it's looking good to me.
All right.
But we could try and get her back on and ask her directly.
We will get her back on. Yeah. We will get her. And hopefully we'll be able to get some interviews with the new senators too. I did reach out to one or two. So hopefully they will be able to agree to an interview.
We try and get Foster Cummings or Faris El-Rawi to say, that there's some criticism of the appointments and then defend why they think they're suitable to be there.
Yeah. Well, I did get a call after the show yesterday concerning my comments, and the person was able to put certain things in perspective that I said, okay, well, fine, I'm listening and you're making sense, so I'll wait and see. That's why I said I'll wait and see. My brown bag has just gotten a little firmer. It ain't ready to burst yet, but when it bursts, be prepared.
Get wet. All right, we're still taking your calls, 281-1315, 281-1315. On the breakfast show this morning. This is a special good morning to my Auntie Roslyn. Good morning, Auntie Roslyn.
Auntie who?
Roslyn.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Hi, Mr. Pinal is back. Mr. Pinal, good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Pinal.
Yeah, the benefit of getting older is, first of all, you get those years. If you don't want to get older, then you're dead. Is that you recognize that what people want is delivery. I don't really care of the geographical spread of a party, or if they contest all the seats, or where their ministers come from, or their race and their religion and all of that. I just want the things that the various ministries are supposed to deliver. And I heard a person on a Facebook post saying, Stuart Young, you don't know the poor life. The poor life, and that's the way she put it. Not like we might say the way poor people live and so on. You don't know the poor life. Why you don't stay with your people and live how you live? We are living the poor life. So people want their issues addressed. This question about the geographical spread and the race and the religion, we've passed that point in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago. But that is what you're going to get from the stalwarts. Well, stalwarts, right? I'll call them stalwarts. Because they are focused on some stale issues. The geographical spread and who contests what and what is a national party and what is an institution and great is this and great is that. And all those things don't help with delivery. I'm just putting that on the table as someone who have watched over it for many years. Thank you, guys.
All right.
That is almost like saying that data is not important.
It's a perspective. I think it was kind of like I suppose a kind of backhanded commentary on Ashton Ford's perspective. But Ashton Ford was saying that he felt they should have been more strategic with the senatorial appointments from an election perspective.
Yes.
Look at where your weak points were and put people from those areas in terms of not only representing from those areas, but it's an area that underserved when you look at the makeup of who's in parliament now. So he felt that you could have used the Senate to kind of rebalance that perspective.
Right.
And unlike Mr. Penal, he felt that geography does matter in terms of echoing the interests of people from that part of the country.
Yes.
Kola, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. I would really like to find out who said no on the waterfront project. It's gonna help San Fernando and the country. Had to be someone of the squatters that don't want to move. Squatting is illegal. You're moving illegal. You want $1 million to leave, and then you hate the government. Why Trinidadians with everything they want for free?
Well, the vast majority, to be fair, Mr. Sampson, the vast majority of people said yes.
60 out of 62 said yes.
60 out of 62 said yes that the San Fernando project should continue.
Yeah. So don't worry, the minority. Go with the majority.
It's democracy, especially on this show.
Yeah. Good morning to you, Kola.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Alistair Hart here.
Good morning.
Two things are called for. Wendell, we need the opposition to rally to finish that waterfront project. Port of Spain have a nice waterfront by Hyatt. Tobago has a nice one. What happened to San Fernando?
Well, if we have to go by the results of our poll, Alistair, you'll get the waterfront, 60 out of 62 people said yes.
Well, I'm planning to go by the new MP's office there by Pagoda and talk to the secretary because it has to go on. It's almost finished.
Okay.
And I understand the road is in court or something with the man with the ice factory put them in court, but that could be easily done. Is just for the quarter meet and whatever. And the second thing I call for, if you're on the southbound lane and you pass Caroni flyover there, just around where Blue Mountains factory is there's some people with some scrap metal. It's over 20 feet tall in the air with just scrap metal pile up. With hurricane season starting next week, I don't want to think if we get a high storm, what will happen with that metal and the highway close by. I don't know how somebody could get permission to have this metal pile up 20 feet in the air. It looks horrible first, and it's a danger because we already get high winds, because if you traverse the highway, you would see billboards being bent on the side and new billboards going up.
Yeah.
So I understand how nobody is seeing that.
Yeah. Thanks very much,
Yeah.
Ashton. Thank you very
The crosswinds on the highway in particular. But let's do 8 o'clock news now, guys, and then when we come back, we'll
much. Hold your
close out.
calls. We'll come back and take a couple of your calls.
Mm.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Minister in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, David Nakid, has called for African history to be included in the school curriculum. Speaking on African Liberation Day at the Black Agenda Project's African Unity Conference in Laventille, Nakid said local education prioritizes European figures like Christopher Columbus while ignoring African heroes such as Thomas Sankara and Steve Biko. We know everything about those who raped and pillaged our people, but little about those who fought for our liberation, he stated. A High Court judge has ruled that the Food and Drugs Division acted illegally when it barred local distributor Rollins Marketing Company from selling 1,900 cases of imported Sting energy drinks. Justice Frank Seepersad declared the FDD's directive null and void, stating it had no legal authority to restrict goods already cleared by customs. The company had paid over $44,000 in duties, and the drinks later tested safe by Kariri. The judge criticized the FDD for overstepping its legal powers. 34-year-old businessman Haqqani Ali was shot and killed early yesterday morning at his pool facility in Kunupia. Around 1:10 a.m., while securing the premises, an employee heard gunshots and discovered Ali with gunshot wounds to the head. A suspect described as slim build, about 5 feet 5 inches, wearing a white vest and surgical mask, was seen fleeing. 2 9mm shells were recovered. The motive remains unknown. 17-year-old Krisan Bedesi of St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando, has made history as the first Trinidad and Tobago student accepted into the prestigious Yale Young Global Scholars Program. The National Youth Award winner and UNESCO ambassador will attend the Politics, Law and Economics session from July 6th to 18th, describing the opportunity as miraculous and life-changing. Krisan, who aims to one day represent Trinidad and Tobago at the United Nations, has already received help from her school and a kind donor who purchased her flight ticket. However, she and her mother, Susanna, a single parent and hairdresser, are still seeking to raise $4,000 to cover accommodation and other travel expenses. They hope Susanna can accompany her daughter for safety and support during this groundbreaking opportunity. Supporters can donate via First Citizens Bank, account number 1984690, or contact 3362805. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, Guyana's President Irfan Ali has announced general elections for September 1st, 2025. Speaking during the independence flag-raising ceremony, Ali said he will soon dissolve parliament. He will lead the People's Progressive Party Civic in a bid for a second term against the People's National Congress Reform and Alliance for Change, who have not yet finalized their coalition plans. In international news, US President Donald Trump called Russian President Vladimir Putin absolutely crazy, following Russia's largest air assault on Ukraine since 2022. The attack involved 367 drones and missiles, killing at least 13 people. Trump said Putin has gone absolutely crazy, needlessly killing a lot of people. Meanwhile, Germany's chancellor declared no range limits on arms supplied to Ukraine, possibly paving the way for Taurus missiles with 500-kilometer range to strike military targets inside Russia. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Tricode Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV.
Of course, we are back as we head towards 8:15, which is our sign-off time on the Breakfast Show. I suppose you can still take some calls. You have a couple of minutes left.
Let me do a birthday greeting, Richard, before I forget and before we sign off. Jamila Al-Razi Abbott. Happy birthday. That's my neighbor. It's coming from her darling husband, Ronald, and her daughters. Jamila Al-Razi Abbott. All right? I put the Abbott there. All right? Happy birthday, Jamila. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope Ronald treats you special, and I hope all you invite me across for a little drink later, right? Or a little piece of cake and ice cream or something. I don't drink all the time. I was drinking so much with Richard already and Robert.
All right. Drag me into it.
Oh, Lord. Look, the amount of messages I had on my phone. Oh, God.
Wendell.
Hey.
Wendell, let me ask you a question there, because you were in the corporation as Alistair raised that situation with that scrap dump. Isn't there a thing called road officers who are supposed to be going around in these corporations to see what is taking place in their areas so that these things don't get out of hand and stuff? Because I understand that dump has been there for years, you know. It's not an old thing.
But if that on the highway, I would imagine Ministry of Works and Transport, it's now two separate ministries, would have a bigger role to play in that. For instance, things on Wrightson Road and so on, is mostly the Ministry of Works deal with that as opposed to the Port of Spain Corporation. You know, I think the act is kind of strange in terms of recognizing highways as opposed, major roads as opposed to minor roads. But but the corporation do have people who go around, building inspectors. Of course, they don't have enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but and that is strange, because even though we don't have enough, I mean, if somebody's doing something for years, at some point in time, somebody should have been able to approach and say, hey, this is a health hazard, it's a fire hazard, an X hazard. You need to remove these things.
So, Charles, people don't take on people again. You know, people don't listen to people again. They find a way around breaking the law all the time, regardless. You understand? And generally, when these office holders go out, they are told, okay, I will do this, and then by the time they turn around, whatever illegal work continues.
So there's no power. The state don't have attorneys and other things that could step in to make people conform.
Yeah.
Is that how we are doing it?
It's supposed to work, yes. Which is why I told you, I get upset when I talk local government now. I get upset because I saw what was going on. We tried to fix it. I mean, the little that the councils did do, and some councils still trying, you understand? But generally, people just dare now getting the stipend every month. They ain't doing nothing. Because there is nothing to do. You understand?
Yeah, I just get really annoyed with the powerlessness of our people. We have laws for everything, and nothing can be enforced. You know. All right, well, let's take this caller quickly before we go. Caller, good morning.
Well, I was just calling to say that same thing, Sir Charles. We have so many laws here, but it's the enforcement of the laws. If laws are enforced and people have to pay serious fines or jail, they will do what they have to do. That is why I'm and I'm glad the president mentioned about the demerit points. Richard, would you believe my husband driving home from that place Saturday night, we had a man waggling and wobbling all over the road in front of us, like he drunk. You have to have certain things, and you have to enforce the law to keep people in order.
Yeah.
Or else what? You just become wayward society already. So I don't know what going on us, but anti-cabs is there. They go fix it.
See, I had to get in that one.
Far Rockaway go message and say, oh, good, yeah, that's a banker.
Yeah, or look at put Zina in Parliament, you know.
Zina would make an excellent, I don't know if she's still interested, but Zina would have made an excellent advocate for people and to getting things done. But you hear her all the time, eh?
Yes.
Over the years.
Yes, and she would work for people across the board. Yeah. Well, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. You know, it's funny. I'm listening to this program this morning with all these PNM sycophants. Where were all these sycophants for the last 10 years with all these projects that the people partnership left for PNM to finish? I didn't hear nobody coming on the radio, television, or even meet for mass media complaining why Rowley don't finish this project. Look at my projects for 10 years had to come back now, and the little money we have to reinvest it now to finish the university.
Do you listen to the show?
Call up pause a little bit. But do you think that the project in particular that we're talking about, do you think that it should be finished?
What did you say? No?
The project right now.
No. We didn't hear you. What did he say? The project in San Fernando. Do you think that it should be finished?
As I said earlier,
you're deliberately having internet problems.
Yeah, you're having a little problem there, Kola. But we hear you. We hear you. Yeah, boy.
We quarrel for Wendell. We quarrel for the 10 years the PNM about it.
I don't understand that. That was asking if it is the first time you listen to the show, you know.
Yeah.
People say what they want to hear, yes. Or when they hear
we got some things done also. But that's
it's like a pigeonhole you into that was the only position you had and it's only now.
Yeah.
So we always had positions on certain issues and we will continue to have positions on certain issues. We were critical on this program, well, of course, in the new reiteration. We have, from a historical point of view, we have been critical of many things and we support many things because we call it like how we see it. Sometimes our positions will align and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. You know how much friends, you know how much enemies I get for calling local government reform a hoax? Huh? But guess what? It's still a hoax.
They never hear that.
It's still a hoax.
Yeah, they never. Apparently, nobody ever heard you say that, Wendell. Yeah.
Anyway,
all right,
guys, it was fun. I have to be in town for a particular time. I already have my overtime. I will send my appropriate invoice. Tomorrow, don't forget.
If I know overtime, you're working until 8:15. It's about that time now.
Well, it's 8:14, yeah.
It's 8:14. Okay. So this is where we wrap it up on the breakfast show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do, and remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
Yes, folks, remember you only have one life, live it. And live it peacefully now. All this other insults and calling people names and all kind of thing, it don't work, you know. I don't know if all living a miserable life if that's the type of life all you choose to live.
Of course,
it's a miserable life.
New Era TT Radio continues on the stream, on TuneIn, and of course the www.newera.tt.radio continue. Lots of stuff continuing for the rest of the day. Have a fantastic day. This has been The
Breakfast Show.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show.